I like what I see already. Neil is just the cutest blue thing on two legs.
All right. Guess you're just throwing nubs out the window?
Oh. Well.
I just think he's a Jedi pirate, like Hondo wanted Ezra to be.
Yeah.
So maybe.
All right.
We're bringing it back.
We're connecting the dots.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Star Wars Explained Weekly Q&A. I'm Alex.
I'm Molly.
And we're going to be talking about Skeleton Crew and our hopes and dreams for the coming series. But before we get into that, wanted to mention a couple just fun weekend things that we got into. The major one is Invasion Christmas Carol, which that's like a hallmark of our holiday season at this point.
It's so much fun. And I don't know if this is something that only Dad's Garage does?
I believe it is. So in Atlanta, we go to an improv theater, and every year they practice A Christmas Carol. Like, they have a full cast that does the play, but then the improvised part of it is...
Oh my God, Elo.
Anyway, the improvised part of the show is that a random character will then invade the whole show as if they've always been a part of A Christmas Carol. So the show opened and we saw it this past week, and Bowser invaded of Mario fame.
I expect these to...
Yeah, it was very much like a millennial, or actually millennial Gen X kind of show.
It worked for us.
Yeah.
I'll say that. Yeah,
Like,
they had a lot of jokes, like classic Mario jokes.
Classic Mario, yeah, classic Bowser moments.
Except this wasn't classic, but he kept shooting fireballs at people, aka taking shots of fireball and making people in the cast drink them.
Which, it's always fun when there's drinking involved on stage, because whoever the invader is can then force drinks upon the entire cast.
We've seen a show where, yeah, they basically had people chugging beers throughout the entire show. I think Scrooge had like 3. If you're in the Atlanta area and you need something to do, Invasion Christmas Carol is our favorite thing to do. We see it multiple times every year. We're friends with a lot of people at Dad's Garage. This almost sounds like it's sponsored. It's not. We just love it there.
We talk about Dad's Garage all the time.
Yeah, we've taken improv lessons there, so it's a place that is very near and dear to us. They're also the same place that did the Wicket musical. Mm-hmm. Now that Wicket is back in the zeitgeist. But yeah. Go see IXC. I also wanted to shout out this past week on Monday, we had our book club for The Glass Abyss, which was a really fun discussion. If you watched my review for that book, didn't really get into it. Wasn't my vibe at all, but it was a fun discussion with our book club members that we have over on Patreon. So I wanted to shout them out. Thanks for just giving me a good discussion about that book.
Yeah, it sounds like no one was trying to change any minds about the book itself, but it was nice to just hear from people who liked it or didn't like it.
Yeah, we had people who really loved the book, people like me who really didn't like it, and everywhere in between. So we just had a good discussion about what we liked, what didn't work for us. It's always a good time, especially I find value in it when I don't like a book, because then there are usually people who help me appreciate it more. But yeah, let's get into some Skeleton Crew talk. But before we get into our hopes and dreams and questions and everything, this morning we had a surprise delivery for Skeleton Crew, and we have no idea what's in this box, but we thought it would be fun to open it on screen.
Straight from Swagman themselves. If you know Star Wars Twitter, you know Swagman.
So here's the box. I'm trying not to block Molly's camera.
It's a cute box. It looks kind of like a little treasure chest, and it's got like not actual stickers, but little sticker decals on the sides.
It's got some Arabesh written on it. One says bounty inside, and the other says open if you. I feel like it's supposed to say dare also, but it says open if you. Maybe the dare faded off. I'm going to let you handle most of this.
Oh, okay. Ooh. I like what I see already.
Oh, this is cute. All right, never mind. I'm immediately going to pick something up. Oh, little lunchbox.
That's really cute.
That's adorable, and like very much just in the feel of what Skeleton Crew's vibe is supposed to be.
Yeah, I've always thought about buying these like tin lunchboxes, that like the vintage ones with Star Wars stuff, but I've never actually bought one, so this is nice to have.
I've seen a few like at garage sales or not garage sales, thrift stores or antique stores, and the old Star Wars ones I always consider buying.
Another Funko Pop to add to my collection, and this one is KB, which is really cute. She's got her little visor down.
You don't need any more Funko Pops.
Yeah, you're right. I don't have space for any more, but I appreciate getting new ones still. And then we've got Fern, a Black Series Fern. She's got her little backpack, and I think that's a flashlight. This is really cool. I like her jacket a lot. Fern is just really cool looking, and I want to be her friend. A little Neil pin. Oh, okay, so this is going to be the new hashtag for the show, Neil Nation.
Oh, they're getting ahead of it after Yord Horde and everything.
Oh, for sure. Neil is just the cutest blue thing on two legs.
He is cuter than Max Rebo, I'll give you that.
I couldn't say cutest thing on two legs because that's Grogu.
Right. But cutest blue thing.
Cutest blue thing.
All right. Guess you're just throwing nubs out the window.
Oh.
Mm.
Well.
I was about to make a joke about Thrawn, but then I genuinely remembered nubs.
Cutest smooth blue thing.
Okay, getting real granular.
Another Neil Nation sticker. We've got SM33, which looks really cool as a sticker. Kind of like 70s, 80s inspired looking designs.
So some of these, on the top right and bottom right, those I believe are there. And it's on this bag too.
Oh, is that the school?
These are the school patches.
Cool.
And the middle have like Tianese symbols on them. So that's led crazy people like me, to say that maybe they're related to Tion and Zim the Despot. I almost said Invader Zim. That's your fault. The Arabesh on the top one says Prefect. The bottom one just looks like a more standard badge, I guess. Bottom left one says Speed. That's it. And an arrow.
Oh, maybe Fern has that sticker on her little bike.
Yeah, that makes sense. The last thing in the box is this little backpack, which is really cool looking. Kind of matches the backpacks that I think they have in the trailers and stuff. It's not big enough, but it makes me want to take it to Japan. I'm like, there's no way I could fit everything in here.
It's actually like a lot bigger than I would have expected for like a swag box like
it's
this.
It's a nice little bag.
But it's canvas. It's got zipper pockets. I am going to read this little card that came in the box because it's cute. It says, "Greetings, students. Welcome to Atten Middle School, where every day is an adventure in learning. For your first day of school, we've included some supplies to get you started on your journey. Don't forget to join us for a mandatory assembly on December 2nd, a viewing of the 2-episode series premiere of Skeleton Crew, only on Disney+. We look forward to seeing you in class."
Cute. All right. I've been saying for forever that I need to actually give my water bottle some personality, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to put the Prefect sticker on there.
We're doing it live.
Because I'm a nerd, so I'm going to take the Prefect sticker. You can have Neil Nation.
Well, I don't know where I'm going to put it. Mine's getting kind of full.
There. My first official sticker.
Yay.
Are you proud of me?
I'm so proud that you committed to a sticker, finally.
I put it off center a little. But yeah, let's talk about our Skeleton Crew hopes, dreams, what we want to see out of this series. It's starting on Monday, which is interesting. They just recently said that it was going to start on Monday the 2nd instead of Tuesday the 3rd, which I don't really know why, but okay.
Yeah, they just bumped it up a day for the big premiere, which I think maybe is because I'm seeing now that they are going to do a little premiere event at Disneyland, and I think that is going to be Monday. So I think so that nothing gets spoiled, maybe they bumped it up a day for that.
Okay. Well, see, I'm hoping that they maybe bump up a few of the episodes to a Monday, especially when we're getting into like Christmas week and New Year's Eve. It's like those episodes are going to come out on Christmas Eve and on New Year's Eve. I'm like, well, you could bump those up just a little. That I would understand.
I don't know, like, I think most kids that they want watching this show probably don't have a ton of plans.
I guess, yeah, they're just on their holiday break. But Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, I had a lot of plans Christmas Eve growing up. New Year's Eve, not so much. Mm-hmm. That was like my parents' day to celebrate.
Yeah. I have been enjoying all the marketing that I've been seeing online for it. Like they've released several new little like TV spots and clips that look really fun and exciting. And I feel like the clips are showing stuff like from all throughout the season almost, because it feels like it's in several different locations.
Just the vibe from the trailers I've gotten is that maybe every episode will be on a different planet or something, kind of like Mando. And that I kind of look at The Mandalorian as, if you're going to do just 8 episodes, The Mandalorian is the one that feels the most like a series to me, where every episode is very distinct. And it's like, oh yeah, this is the one where they see Jack Black and Lizzo. So I kind of hope that Skeleton Crew has that vibe, that every episode feels very unique and doesn't feel more like a mini-series.
Sure.
I guess that's my number one hope for it. What's your biggest hope for the series?
I want it to be good.
Well, yeah, okay. that seems like a baseline.
Okay, I'll say this. I want the story to be intriguing enough that I feel like as an adult, I am staying interested week after week.
Yeah. The mention of AT-ATN and some of the interviews, like you've been talking about the clips they released, I've really enjoyed the director roundtables that they've had, just having the filmmakers discussing the series. But they have talked about AT-ATN being one of the jewels of the Old Republic. And at this point, you mention the Old Republic to any Star Wars fan and like just bells and whistles go off, and we're very excited because Old Republican canon has not been touched. It's very rare that it even feels like it gets mentioned. So to have an Old Republic mention Old Republic related planet in a live action series, that does feel significant to me.
Yeah, just the idea of there being a mystery around this planet at all has me interested and excited about just the story itself. I know it's going to be fun and cute and, you know, hopefully have this like fun swashbuckling adventure vibe, but I want the story, I want like the meat and potatoes of it to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that's having recently rewatched The Goonies. I think what makes E.T. a better Kids on Bike story is that you can watch it as a kid and really relate to the kids, but then you can watch it as an adult, remember what it was like to be that age, but also relate more to Elliot's mom. And even the government guy that's like, I also had an experience like this. I hope that it works on both of those levels where, yeah, to kids, it's a really fun adventure. And to adults, there's like another way to connect to it.
I love stories that involve like adults figuring out that they're being too uptight.
Yeah.
You know, like adults remembering what it was like to be a kid. The first one that comes to mind now that we're in like full holiday season is the Santa Claus. Just when they all like think about the first gifts that they remember getting from Santa, and it's just like that childlike wonder kind of like creeps back in. And they're like, oh yeah, I shouldn't take life too seriously because I was a kid once and it was kind of fun.
The reason I just said, oh yeah, 8 times is because you immediately made me think of the Lego movie, which, you know, President Business turns out to be the kid's dad.
Yeah.
And like, he just has to remember how to play like a child again. And like the first time we saw that movie, it made me cry pretty hard. And then I think I've still like shed a tear every time we've watched it since. I love that movie. Because I just thought it was going to be a fun, cute little Lego adventure, and then it's just like, adulthood, bah, like punches you in the gut. So
yeah, it gives the adults something to chew on, something to think about.
I'm not expecting that level from Skeleton Crew, but yes, what little we have seen of Wendell and Farah, that'd be Fern and Wim's parents, they seem like the uptight. Fern's mother is like a proctor of the school, it looks like, and Wim's dad just seems very like, do not go and get in trouble, don't get your uniform dirty, like,
but yeah, by the book, very kind of like strict.
So yeah, having them learn how to be less uptight
yeah
would be good.
And I think they talked about this a little bit in the roundtables, but Wim talking about not having his mom around, I think that'll play into the fact that his dad is so uber focused on him and like worried about his safety and him doing well in school. And, Wim is a little kid and just wants to daydream about Jedi and like adventures. And I like that element of it too.
Yeah, I like that in that roundtable that we got to be a part of, Wim's actor Ravi, he mentioned that Wim is a little bit selfish. He's kind of like hunting for attention. So I do like that it sounds like the kids are going to be kids, because kids are selfish. So are adults. But like kids are selfish in a more destructive way, like a less careful way.
Sure.
They don't have the experience to be like, maybe I shouldn't press that button that we see him pressing in all the trailers.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, the fact that he takes up such a long beat to be like, I know I shouldn't press this, I'm gonna press it anyways.
and it's like in the trailer they're like, don't push that button, and he's like,
I'm gonna do it.
Like, I'm gonna push the button. I think the struggle with having kids stories and like you're an adult and you're watching them is sometimes they don't do things that you want them to do as an adult, but trying to be able to put yourself back in the mindset of a kid that is just like, I don't know better, really. Like, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah. And again, like, they've described this show as like these kids almost like they don't know that they're in Star Wars. Like, they're playing lightsabers like actual kids here would play lightsabers, and
I did that.
Yeah.
My friend and I did that at the bus stop.
Yeah. And so I think that is really important for kids who are watching the show to see and be like, oh, they're just like me, but they get to go on this grand adventure, and that's cool.
Yeah, I will be interested in how they handle that. Just, I don't want it to feel too meta. We know that Wim looks up stories of like the Jedi and everything, but I guess it's not really any different from kids playing pretend now and being like, I'm going to be... I immediately try to do a sports metaphor. I'm like, I'm not the person to do that, but like,
let me back it up.
Pretending to be a professional athlete. And, like, I'm going to be Michael Jordan. That's the... I can go back
that
that
the
far.
Jedi of all sports.
They want to be the GOAT. They're going to pretend to be Michael Jordan.
That's fair. What if they were like, I'm going to pretend to be Michael Jordan, but in his baseball era?
Yeah, sure. And someone else is like, different. I'm going to be Bugs Bunny. Great.
In his basketball era.
Yeah. I also used to pretend to be Power Rangers, and I always wanted to be the red one. So everyone has their favorites.
I'm excited that people like Phil Tippett and John Knoll are involved in the show, because it gives me this hope of maybe more of like a nostalgic like prequel feeling almost, or like maybe there'll be lots of practical effects and miniatures and like stop motion. That would be awesome.
I had forgotten that Phil Tippett was involved until Force Center was talking about their own hopes and dreams for Skeleton Crew, their look ahead, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that article. So yeah, I agree with that. I hope that there's a good blend of, like, obviously the volume is being used in here. I mean, the kids in their roundtable talked about literally running into it because they couldn't see where it ended. I do think that visually the trailers have all looked really, really good. So I hope that they have a good blend of the volume, but also, yeah, stop motion and practical effects. That all the aliens we've seen have looked pretty cool. So
yeah, whoever that owl is, I gotta know.
Yeah. You're excited for that just because you love from Sword in the Stone. Archimedes, yeah.
Yeah, which also reminds me, I'm excited just to see how many other bits of like old school 80s like TV or movies that they might pull from, just because I watched a lot of that growing up, because my sister is 10 years older than me. So whatever she was watching growing up in like the late 70s, early 80s kind of carried over to me, because she had all like the toys and stuff for it. So I'm just excited for any other Easter eggs from other media like that.
Yeah. I am hopeful that they handle all that tastefully. I think they will. I mean, like, I didn't even recognize Fuzzball from Captain EO in the trailers when it first came out. Like, that's just not something at the top of my pop culture brain.
Right.
But everyone else was like, oh my gosh, it's Fuzzball. And so, but I think that is a fine way to handle something like that, because if you don't know, it's just another cute little creature.
Yeah.
But I do always think there's a danger that you could really go overboard and be all like Ponda Baba about it in Rogue One, and like have someone like, let's stop the story to point at something. As long as they don't do that, but
that doesn't bug me that much. I know it bugs you,
yeah,
but
it bugs me.
I don't think it bugs a lot of people.
Well, that's fine. Good for them.
Sometimes stuff like that has to be pointed out a little too obviously for people to catch it.
Yeah, like, it's been interesting, the evolution of like the Easter egg. That means so many things now. It used to be something that was like deep in the background that you had to hunt for, like an Easter egg, and now people refer to it as just any reference.
Well, Easter eggs, I mean, that used to be something that no one really cared about.
Yeah.
Hardly anyone talked about them. Now every other video on YouTube is, look at all these Easter eggs. And yeah, it's just like,
we're all trying to find out who did this.
Look at all these Easter eggs.
I'm part of the problem, all right?
Well, I think you do a reasonable amount of Easter eggs that I think are actual Easter eggs. Some people will just say, look at this species, it's an Easter egg. And I'm like, no, that's just a species in Star Wars.
Everyone's got their own, like, I guess, line, where we draw the line. Speaking of Easter eggs, that's a good segue into Cindy K's question, who asks if we're going to see the flying saucer pirate ship design in the show, which is like a roundabout way of asking if Hondo Ohnaka is going to be there, I think, because he had the saucer ship.
Would he still have it?
Maybe. I mean, he didn't in Star Wars Rebels. You know, he could go get another one.
Mm-hmm.
If I saw a saucer, my first thought would be, is Hondo in there?
Yeah.
Even though, yeah, I think long ago he had lost his pirate crew and moved on to a new ship.
I would say no. I don't know, like that. You know what? Before I say no, maybe it would fit with the very Earth-like planet having very Earth-like interpretations of spaceships.
Uh-huh.
So maybe at Atten we could see one of those, but I think that might be pushing it a little too far.
I will say, like, I was never really a fan of the flying saucer in Star Wars.
Not in Star Wars. Show me something crazy and new, something I've never seen before.
Something I like about just the design of Star Wars, and the designers have talked about this so much, but there's just a good visual language of looking at something and being like, there are the thrusters, there's the cockpit. Like, you can just tell what everything does, even without knowing it. And the saucer is more of just like, it's supposed to be so otherworldly that it just moves without reason, really. Like, you can't look at it and be like, that's a Star Wars ship. It's more like, that's a flying saucer from other science fiction.
And it looks like that to add curiosity and mystique, because as humans, we want to think of aliens as these strange creatures that we don't understand. But you're in Star Wars, like, you see aliens everywhere.
Right.
So you're not seeing things like that and being like, oh, that's so strange and different, and I don't know how it works.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to agree that probably no to the saucer. But for Hondo, we were talking about this the other day, that Hondo feels like he could fit in literally every series that has been on Disney Plus. Like, The Mandalorian, that would just be fun. And he has connections to Clone Wars characters who've popped up. Obi-Wan Kenobi, he knows Obi-Wan. Ahsoka, he knows Ahsoka. Like, it just seems like he should have popped up by now.
I did, the other day we were walking and I was talking about hoping to see Hondo in this show or any other show, really. And I kind of, as I was talking, I talked myself out of wanting to see him in Skeleton Crew, because I was like, you know what? He would be perfect in Ahsoka season 2, because he has ties to Ezra and Ahsoka, and I think there could be something really fun to do there.
But that doesn't mean that he can't be in Skeleton Crew as well.
Sure.
He could be introduced as a pirate, like he is, like that's his inroad to Skeleton Crew. But yeah, it would be really fun to see him and Ezra reunite.
I get the feeling that Hondo might be another one of those characters that Filoni is like, mine. And
he's an executive producer on this.
Sure.
He's like, here's the little tease, and then he can really
That's true.
go ham on Ahsoka.
But I think he would want to direct whatever episode he was going to be in. So far, all the pirates that we've seen have been pretty scary. Like in the TV spots and trailers and stuff. I think they are meant to be truly like scary characters. And Hondo is like, yeah, come on.
I was like thinking of the Goonies again. The Fratellis are not that scary. I mean, I don't know, they kill someone.
Depends on how old you are.
That's true, but I'm saying that when I rewatch the Goonies, they get hit in the nuts a lot, and it's very slapstick, and you're like, okay, I get the feeling, / I hope that the pirates are going to be more intimidating, more scary.
Yeah.
Not someone that the kids want to hang around. But then I would say they could have like a pirate that shows them the ropes and is fun, like Hondo, but Jod is probably going to fit that role.
Yeah, he seems like the kind of happy medium.
I think we can get rid of the idea that he's a Jedi after one of the TV spots they put out, and they're like, "You're a Jedi, right?" And he's like, "Sure." Like, okay, he can use the Force, but I don't think he's a Jedi. I just think he's a Jedi pirate, like Hondo wanted Ezra to be.
Yeah.
So maybe.
All right.
We're bringing it back.
We're connecting the dots.
And speaking of Jod, Elo Asti asks if we think Jod will die in the series.
I honestly no. Like, I'm not expecting any big deaths.
Me neither.
In this season of television, because it's got these young kids in it. And I mean, I don't know, maybe if they're gonna do more seasons after this, which I doubt they will, but who knows.
I mean, they delayed the series a whole year. Like, the kids are growing up fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know that there's gonna be a cute little skeleton crew season 2.
Probably not.
I mean, we don't even know if it was developed as multiple seasons, or maybe it was always meant to be a one-off. I bet the kids will appear in other things in the future, but probably not as, Skeleton Crew Season 2. Anyway, yeah, while I'm expecting danger and peril in this story, again, to go back to, like, the Goonies, none of the Fratellis die. They get hit in the nuts a lot, like I said, but no one dies. Except for maybe pirates. I'm sure there are going to be, like, red shirt pirates, but
I think there will be casualties, but not necessarily any of the main characters.
Right. I think there will be danger, but Jod is going to learn lessons through the kids. I don't think he's going to have to perish.
Right.
Honestly, if we're building up to this New Republic movie, I don't know if the kids are going to, like, come in and help defeat the Imperial Remnant, but Jod could have a change of heart and say, like, you know what, I'm going to use my abilities in the Force for good. And maybe he meets Ezra and gets some training or something. But Jude Law is someone I could see popping up in a future film.
Yeah, I am curious about his ability to use the Force. And then if that gets out, like, is anyone going to be like, well, you got, like they were with Grogu, we got to find another Jedi and just give you to them.
That's the kid's journey are actually going to be delivering this adult man to Luke Skywalker.
To Luke.
Luke's like, he's way too old to begin the training. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about before we close up?
We can talk about our live streams coming back.
Yeah, we should talk about just our general coverage of the show. We are going to be doing episode reviews for every episode. So episodes 1 and 2 will be out next week. And, if there are any other things to cover, we'll do videos throughout the week. And on Wednesdays at 6 p.m., that's the plan.
Eastern.
6 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be doing X-Ray, which is our Skeleton Crew analysis after show with guests.
But one of our friends who we actually see a lot at DragonCon came up with this name.
Yeah, YHC Tower on YouTube suggested the name because we were struggling to think of something, and he was like, how about X-Ray? So thank you, Kyle. That was a great idea.
It's like the perfect amount of, like, it's related to Bones, but it's also kind of cute. And it also was like, let's take a look
Yeah,
inside
let's take a deeper look.
ourselves as we explore
Yeah.
this show.
It worked on several levels. It was very smart, Kyle. Our first guest for X-Ray is going to be Resistance Broadcast next Wednesday. So excited to have them on for the premiere.
Yay. Yeah, so starting next week, we'll do Wednesday and Thursday live streams.
We're going to be doing Lego live streams as well. We're bringing them back. We took a nice long break to just live our personal lives and go to too many weddings. Not too many. It was so much fun, if any of our friends are watching.
They don't watch till the end.
We're glad you all got married.
But yeah, we got the sail barge, and that looks actually pretty fun to build. It's not gray. It's brown.
So we're going to get back to live streams next week and hopefully stick to that schedule in 2025, going up to Star Wars Celebration.
Oh, yeah, we started learning Japanese.
Oh, yeah. We could have talked about that at the top.
Should have talked about this first, but yeah, we both started using, what's that app? Duolingo.
Yeah, that's been fun. So we know how to say sushi, please, now.
And rice.
Yeah.
And
Gohan kudasai.
yeah, so
That's all we need.
I am fully excited now that, like, we're coming up on the new year. We're learning some Japanese, and now we have a new backpack to take to Japan.
Japan is getting to be, like, very real, and now we have to make plans and stuff for it.
We're booking stuff. We're planning things.
It's intense.
It's happening.
But it's exciting. Anyway.
All right.
That's months in the future.
Yeah. If you've made it this far in the video, congratulations, and thank you for watching till the end.
And if you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads.
And as always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.